Today is a very special day. That's why I brought a trash can. For those that have not been around in the last couple weeks, today's a day of celebration. Don't worry, Groucho's not in there. But we are celebrating an accomplishment of this congregation. And in order to do that, I need some help. So I'm going to invite Pastor Brian Beeks. Are you still Pastor Brian? I think I still, yeah. The Reverend Brian Beeks. So Brian is here on his birthday, by the way, to help us celebrate this, because Brian and Steve, you can come on up too, because you're a part of this too. Steve McKinley. We'll get you up here in a second, George. So Brian and Steve were part of the group that kicked off the Capitol project. Steve was a major part of that, and Brian is his leadership. So I think it's best that they help us celebrate this. Do you agree? Amen. So take it away, Brian.
Well, I wanted to say thank you to Pastor Justin for inviting me back to be a part of this great day to celebrate as a congregation. As we've been going through this process, wondered if it would ever come, this day would ever come, that it would be paid off. And in the process, today is a great day to celebrate the retirement of the capital campaign loan related to the master plan and all that's been happening in the last few years. But I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but this day also marks another significant day in the life of the congregation, and that is it's the first time that this congregation has been out of debt since 1988. So 38 years, it's not all been the same project, but yet it's great to celebrate that there is no more debt in the life of the congregation. Until you come up with another project, maybe. So, as I think about the master plan and all that was accomplished, it was not a small group of people that was involved. It was the entire congregation coming together. And back in 2013, 2014, when we were starting this process, we worked with some consultants, and the consultants told us that in order for this to happen, we needed to have at least 140 households involved in the capital campaign. As it concluded, there were over 240 households that were involved, and over 500 individuals that made up those households that helped to complete the project. So again, it wasn't something that just a few people brought about, but it was something that the congregation came together and together have made a difference in this church and in this community. Some of you may remember back when we had the capital campaign, we had a key verse that was from Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 5. It said, "Be utterly amazed, for I am going to do something today in your midst that you will not understand, you will not comprehend, even if I told you." And that was a verse that was specifically given to the children of Israel for a particular time in their history. But I believe that it was an applicable verse for us because it describes how it is that God works in the life of his people. Ways that will utterly amaze us. And if he told us, we wouldn't believe it. Can you imagine, as Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, if God would have said the lions aren't going to touch him, how many people would have believed him at that point? Or when the children of Israel were faced with the Red Sea, if they'd been told that God was going to part the Red Sea, before it ever happened, would they have believed it? Or when Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego were thrown into the fiery furnace, would they believe that they would have ever walked out? And I believe that as people take a step of faith, As people trust God, as people try and do, be faithful in the way that God is leading them, what happens often is that we're utterly amazed by the results. We are utterly amazed by what happened. And I believe that as we are utterly amazed, we need to tell the story. We need to tell the story of what it is that God has done. And over the years, particularly after the building was built, there would be people that would want to hear the story or would want a tour of the building. And so I kind of had a routine of how we walked throughout the building. But my favorite part of the tour that I gave was when we would go into the loft in the youth area, and we would look out at the picture window. And we would see the church campus at that point, and I would describe, what it looked like 20 to 25 years ago. Many of you will remember when it was just the old part of the building and surrounded by 17 parking spaces. And how the block has been transformed over the course of the last 20 to 25 years. I'm utterly amazed, as I think about what's happened, and to be honest, I don't know how it happened, except with God's help and people who were faithful in embracing the vision. You may remember that we sold shirts at one time that had a saying on the back that said, "It's more than just a building." This project wasn't about bricks and mortar, but the project was about ministry. It was about reaching out in love to the community. It was about making all feel welcome who walked into the doors of this church. And it's not just what's happened in the last 20 years. It goes back for generations in this church. And I think specifically in the late 50s and early 60s when they built the education wing and the commercial kitchen in the basement, that was a springboard to the ministry of this church for the next 50 years. In the mid-90s, when you did the remodeling and adding the new entryway and the elevator and the parlor out there, we were just having a conversation the other day that, can you imagine what it used to be like coming out of the sanctuary when there was no room out there? And then the master plan that I believe is going to be something that is going to propel the church into. You're already in the midst of the next season of ministry and what that is going to mean. In terms of, being in ministry, and you see pictures of things that have happened in the new space, lives that have been touched, a community that you've reached out and loved to, and also that as people come in the building, all feel welcome. Whether that's coming in the doors to Sunday morning worship, whether that means coming in and working in the kitchen and feeling welcomed, or eating a meal and feeling welcomed, or playing basketball or vacation Bible school or pack away hunger, whatever the case may be. I'm utterly amazed at what God has done, and it has been a joy to be a part of that, and also today a joy to be a part of the process of burning the mortgage. So I think
you did great.
Is that where we are?
You're at.
Okay.
So I just want to give a couple statistics for you guys real quick, because I did some math recently with the help of Brandy Fitz. There have been 275,000 plus meals served out of Connection Court in the last 10 years. Several hundred students, went through Vacation Bible School in that space. We actually set a new record, Brian, of 700 and what? What soup?
747.
747 in a single soup.
Wow.
Now, when Brian was here, that was our Thanksgiving numbers. But we couldn't do what God has called us to do without this, and we're excited for it. So, It's time to burn this thing. George, come on up. This is George Davis. He is our loan officer. And he called me and said that the foundation is sad to no longer receive the interest payments, but is excited for us. So he is bringing forth the mortgage today. Here it is. It's a copy, don't worry. We're not going to, we need, paperwork's important, okay? It's important. But George, you want to be a part of this too? Of course. So why don't you hold that here? Steve, Brian, I got us a collection. All right, Luke. Per the trustee's request, we do have a fire extinguisher ready to go. Luke has not been trained, so we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, you ready? Get in here. And George, whenever it gets hot, drop it, okay? Okay, get it good.
Paper. That's good.
We're getting there, y'all. There is smoke. Yeah. I did my part, okay? Here, I'll switch you.
Okay. Let me keep an eye on this side.
You're doing great. You're doing great. You can drop it now. Hey! We did it! Yay! I'm not sure what to do with this now. Here, Luke. You got that, buddy. Enjoy that. That's for you. Brian, thank you so much for being here. George, thank you for being here as well. Appreciate you, sir.